place in the Munster final in 2 weeks' time at stake. Will it be Clare? Will it be Tipperary? With me, Michael Dagnan.
Yeah, Jared, that's the question. I'm just looking around here to see where Tony Kelly has gone, but it's look, great atmosphere, even with the couple of thousand in. Brilliant atmosphere. Will last week's game have taken anything out of Clare? We won't know until maybe 20 minutes in. And of course, the 22-23 wides last weekend, you know, if they get their shooting boots on, Clare played really well against Waterford. Here we go.
Match underway, and it's Tipperary who won the toss, remember, and they are straight away into the attack here. It's Bubbles O'Dwyer trying to get the first point of the game, blocked down well. Paddy Fitzpatrick comes across. In the end, there's a chance, however, to put that one up and over the bar, and that is done thanks to Jason Ford. Good start by Tipperary.
Yeah, and the lads just mentioned just before the game started, like the league that this man has had, the performance over the last number of years, and that just quick snap up and over the bar.
Short puck out by Clare. They did this, of course, in their opening match. And the question is often asked, when you have a game like that just 7 days ago, does it give you a vital edge? They will hope so, as they lash this one way downfield, down towards Ian Galvin. Clare changed their numbers from last week from 9 up to 15. Straight away into there was David Reedy. He was number 11 last week. Reedy once again in there with Ian Galvin. Eventually it's Cathal Barrett who manages to come away with the ball out here as far as Noel McGrath. Slings it across there towards Barry Heffernan. Chance for the left corner back, who played at left half back when Tip last won the All-Ireland, which was 2 years ago. Paddy Maher back there at full back for them. Into the hands here of Jason Ford, the only scorer so far. Michael Breen now having a go from a distance. It's carrying well, it's carrying brilliantly. Second point of the game, both of them to Tipperary.
Yeah, Jared, that's an unbelievable score. The way that was worked out, the patience, brilliant ball there by Paddy Maher up to Jason Ford. He flicked it out then to Michael Breen. Tony Kelly at full forward. Cathal Barrett got in on him with Paddy Maher moved to corner back.
Well, that was one possibility, and I think Jackie Tyrrell was saying on the panel just a few minutes ago that that was his preferred option. We'll see if it works out. It's an interesting move. Coming in to take this one here, Ryan Taylor. Getting it away quickly, looking for an instant response and getting it there. Good point by Ryan Taylor, operating at top of the left.
Yeah, Jared, this guy was really good the last day as well. He's actually moved out wing forward, wearing number 15. He's on Brendan Maher, used his pace there, and beautiful strike off the hurl.
Aaron Shanahan across the top of the right for Clare. Good start. Rory Hayes on his hands and knees, needing help here, getting it from Colm Galvin. As far as Dermot Ryan, ready to make some progress once again, all the way down towards Ian Galvin, taken instead here by Aaron Shanahan. Didn't score last week against Waterford, looking to try and put that right from the beginning here. What a very good start that is. Slinging it beautifully over the bar. First point of the match for a man playing in his 17th championship game.
Yeah, Jared, you note the ball there from Dermot Ryan. Last week he was going for those pot shots. Today he switched to play. Brilliant ball across, and Shanahan over the bar. Much more urgency to the play. Great start to the game.
Barry Hogan with the puck out. Breaks back down towards Dan McCormack, the Borris player. He goes for a score. The umpires go for the white flag. He's got it as well. What an opening to the match. 5 points already. Tipperary ahead by 3 points to 2.
Yeah, and Dan McCormack really hard working wing forward. Sometimes that thing, you know, goes against him. Some of his shots drift wide, but that'll give him great confidence for the shooting, because, as I say, he does normally have a couple of wides in the game. Good point by him.
Conor Cleary lobbing it up there. Ian Galvin has time because there was a gap suddenly in front of him. Galvin, the younger of the two Galvin brothers, splits the posts. It was an easy shot for him to take in the end. He'll be happy with that one. 3 points apiece, yeah, level again.
Sorry, Jerry, look out here for that was Paddy Maher. He jumped straight out on top of Brendan Maher. Paddy wouldn't be used to playing cornerback. He has played full back a few times. Not really comfortable in there. He loves the wing back, centre back role, but he jumped straight out on top of Brendan Maher and left an easy chance.
Back at centre half back is John Conlon. Safely into the hands here of Cathal Malone. Leaves it behind here. Challenged strongly there by Dan McCormack. And a shot off Dan McCormack, and another score for Tipperary. What a start by both sets of forwards. They're having the better of their duels with the individual backs so far, and Tip ahead by a point.
Yeah, and there's Dan McCormack at his best. His work rate is unbelievable. That drifts in on the wind, and you know, again, good ball out. It was a good short ball, but it, just a slip there, and that ball punished it over the bar.
Paul Flanagan getting his first touch, playing it down into the inside forwards. Collected, however, and away smartly. Over the head that time. Jake Morris unable to get to it. Clare getting possession, building it from the back out towards David Ryan again, slipping it back towards Paul Flanagan, beginning to establish himself in the team, former under-21 winning captain. Missed there by Aaron Shanahan, but it runs on. They're still going through. It's a chance for a goal here, and it's a goal. Ian Galvin getting in here. Ian Galvin's third ever championship goal coming in the 6th minute. A goal and a point for him already. What a start.
Yeah, look out again there, Jared. Slip by Paddy Maher. Watch here. Paddy slips. Lovely turn by Galvin. Shortened up the hurl. Cathal Barrett disappointed. I'd say he didn't get the block on there. But you watch Paddy gone to ground there. And Ian Galvin, dancing feet, slips into the corner net. And, brilliant start.
It really is a brilliant start. Full of scores, full of flair, full of attacking ideas. John Conlon, the former poacher himself at the other end, now back minding the house at number 6, playing it forward towards Shanahan. Barry Heffernan comes out for it, didn't get to it. Support, however, comes out towards Seamus Kennedy, the centre half-back, operating on this left-hand side, taking it under control here, getting that ball away. David Reedy up towards the goal scorer. Back towards Colm Galvin this time, outside the 45-metre line, inside the left-hand upright and over the bar. Brilliant point, brilliant start by Clare. Galvin's first point.
And Jared, the lessons Clare have learned from last week. Last week they weren't playing the ball around, they weren't playing the ball to demand a better position, but they're doing it today. Brilliant. And a lovely little flick finish, a hurl thrown there as well. I don't know where that came out of, but Clare learning from last week and doing everything right in the first 6 minutes. 1-4 after 6 minutes. Some started with a great game last night, with a great game on our hands today.
Barry Hogan with that puck out. It's David Ryan who takes it, the right half back for Clare. Back once again into the forwards, no hanging around. Up towards Shanahan, competing for that one over there with Barry Heffernan. Heffernan on his hands and knees, pressurised, in difficulty. Reinforcements arriving, loads of players getting involved. Tony Kelly, the number 11, waiting for that one to pop back out towards him. In the end, the referee's got to go in there, take possession of the sliotar and throw the ball in. Referee James Owens from Wexford. A real helter-skelter start. It's exactly what you expect when these two counties engage in competition in the Munster Hurling Championship. Has been that way down through the years. Goal between them, early stages. Light breeze supporting Tipperary for the opening 35 minutes, maybe a little bit more than light, fresh certainly. Tip with possession, trying to work it out of defence. Clare trying to get it back again. Aidan McCarthy was in the thick of it there, the number 12 for Clare, watching this time as Galvin gets it up onto his stick again, fires it in and puts it over the bar. What a start he has made. Amazing stuff. A goal and 2 points by Ian Galvin, a point by his brother as well. We were saying before the match that the Galvins needed to perform down there. My goodness, are they doing so?
Yeah, they are, Jaron. They're forcing Tip into mistakes. Tip's first game of the championship, Clare with that game under their belt. But it's amazing the consternation one player can make. Tony Kelly going to full forward, Tip moving their team around, and lads looking at 6s and 7s all over the place.
Both sides availing of their full number of scoring chances so far. No messing, no hanging around. They go again. It's David Reedy this time. Watch the man go. Reedy pursued vigorously back there, and the referee saw it was just a little bit too vigorous, in all kinds of difficulty there. Brendan Maher chasing after David Reedy, showing a neat turn of pace.
I think that's a harsh free, Jerry. There was a little hand coming in, he took it away. I think he tracked him really well and got in a touch, and I don't believe that was a free.
Referee has given it to Clare anyway. They will avail of it. It'll be Tony Kelly who will put this one over the bar from just outside the 20-metre line. It'll be the first score, I think, to come from a free in this match. And we're playing, as you can see, 9 minutes of the game. No problems whatsoever for Kelly. Today playing in his 41st championship match. Brian Lowe must be absolutely chuffed with the way this match has started. Fresh from that resounding win over Waterford last week.
Yeah, Jared, brilliant to have a start like that with Tony Kelly really not featuring. That was his first touch of the ball.
This breaks loose. Dermot Ryan was anticipating, followed his man, lost his stick, able to kick it away. Line ball will be to Tipperary, and Liam Sheedy looks a bit concerned. Expectations always high when you are the Tipperary manager. Champions twice in the last 5 years. Tip have it again. This time it is Jason Ford, got the first point of the game, and that one swings away the wrong side of the post, and that is just the first wide of the game.
Seamus Callan inside a one-on-one. He was looking for the ball to be played in, and Jason Ford took on a less than 50-50 shot at 10, put it wide.
Rory Hayes here, one of 4 Clare players last year, nominated for an All-Star. All the way up there towards Kelly. Bodies going in there after it. Seamus Kennedy tried to come out with it. Kicked back by Taylor. Back out as far as Reedy. David Reedy. The umpires look at it. Get ready to wave the white flag. It's another one for Clare. And this time it's David Reedy.
Yeah, look at the hit here by Ryan Taylor. He just hit a fair shoulder, knocked the ball away. The work rate of the Clare forwards hugely impressive. Their pace, a couple of them not huge men, but very, very mobile. On a wet, slippy day like this, they're low to the ground and they're making hay.
Jake Morris has come deep to collect this one. Delivers it all the way in there towards John McGrath on his hands and knees, beaten for this. Paul Flanagan emerges with it. Teaches here in Limerick and North Sculreach, playing that ball high into the centre of the field. Massive competition for possession here to try and get this sliotar on a pitch that is fairly well sodden following all the early rain we had today. Noel McGrath got the final touch on that, but it did go off a Clare player, so it's going to be a line ball for Tipperary. Where Clare's concerned, Michael, a goal and 7 from 8 shots so far, not half bad.
A huge start, and I've said it already, but they've really learned from last week. They're throwing the ball around, their movement, the player in a better position is getting it, and they're causing the Tip defence all sorts of problems.
It'll be Jason Ford to take this, and has scored 16 points, now 17 points over the last 2 championship matches against Clare. And it's a case of take 2.
Yeah, Bubbles, he grabbed Dermot Ryan's hurling threw it away there off the ball. He was being held, and you can see, I think it's John Conlon retrieving it there. You watch it here, he just pulled, it's actually Conor Cleary, he just pulls the hurl out of his hand and throws it away. And in the meantime, Jason Ford put that line ball over the bar, but it won't count.
Well, it was a good practice, so he's going to have a second go. Linesman down there is Colm Cunning, who's come from County Antrim to the LIT grounds in Limerick for this match. The other linesman is Cathal McAllister from Cork. Ford again, up into the air, towards that right-hand post. Has it just got inside? It has. Good score by Ford. So a second point for him.
Yeah, beautiful skill. You can just see the 65-metre line just behind him there, and would make you believe that Tipperary are playing with the wind. I think it's swirling a bit out there, but that was a lovely judge line ball by Ford.
Goalkeeper Eibhear Culligan once again. Tipperary surrender the puck out to Clare and allow Clare to develop and say, well, what can you do with it? This time Shanahan couldn't hold on to it. Line ball to Tipperary.
Yeah, and Gerard, but I don't think that's suiting Tip, because the Clare full back line are able to puck the ball over the Tipperary half back line, then it's going straight into that dangerous full forward line. But, you know, they're changing in there, but Ian Galvin's in there, Ryan Taylor's moving in, Reedy, Shanahan, Kelly, they're moving in and out there and causing all sorts of problems.
Roland Maher's cut down there to the other side of the field. It's Culligan who's got it. Little hesitation, he fumbled the ball and the referee's given the free against him. Nerves.
Yeah, you watch it here, he's coming out with it, he's going to hit it. And he lost control of it and then passed it out, and the referee deemed him to throw it up and catch it.
So it's got to be a free in, and a very simple tap over the bar for Jason Ford, who's got 2 points already in this match. One of the great free takers in the modern game, but he's much, much more than that. A really fine attacking forward, able to score from any angle, and his work rate is quite immense. That was the easiest one he's had so far today, but it's a third. And it means it's 1-7-2, 6 points.
I think Tip will be glad of those couple of scores, just that, you know, it slowed the game down there in the last few minutes. There was a hectic pace to it. They were finding it hard to stay with it, but there's after just the steam has been taken out of it over the last 2 minutes, that Tip have got 2 points.
Culligan once again goes that side of the field. Roland Maher comes out with it. That's Jake Morris. driving it down towards John McGrath, wearing number 11, but he's popped inside there. Michael Breen's coming in after it. Michael Breen with a goal scoring chance. Michael Breen hammers it into the back of the net. Michael Breen with a Tipperary goal coming after 15 minutes.
Ger, what a goal, what a touch. Look at this touch here again, off the ground at full speed. Look at the directness of that, but the flick across here to get it onto his left side and buried off the ground. That's a brilliant goal. Breen using all his pace, and really nothing could be done about that. He just went up the middle of the field like a rocket.
When did you last see ground hurling like that? And it's rewarded. 1-7 to 1-6, some match so far. Fingers crossed it'll keep going like this. Noel McGrath waiting, taking it there from Ryan Taylor. Taylor persists, however, in challenging. Comes back to Seamus Kennedy, challenged late. Gets that ball away downfield, but there's nobody in a Tipperary shirt in the vicinity of that. Paul Flanagan instead, picking it up here. All the way across over there towards Cathal Malone. Waiting for the challenge to come in from Jake Morris. Dodged it. Gave it back as far as Rory Hayes. Slipping it up into the corner again towards Shanahan. But 2 men against him. Wasn't a good ball from Hayes. Away by Ronan Maher. Back out it comes, and just a lapse of concentration there by Jake Morris.
Yeah, had some great battles here developing around the field. Barry Heffernan and Aaron Shanahan. Heffernan doing really well, Shanahan looking really dangerous, and you know, Tony Kelly hasn't been in the game yet, but he's causing problems because of the changes that Tipperary have had to make to counteract him being in there.
David Reedy had that one. And now there's a race over here to win this one. And it's Kelly, and it's against Cathal Barrett. Barrett on the ground. Referee blew the whistle. Signals a free against the man who was the top scorer in last week's game. This is what happened here, Michael.
Yeah, well, that's what Barrett does so well. He gets his body across. Watch him here. Gets in front. Little push in the back. Free out. We're seeing some great cornerback here, play here. Rory Hayes and Paul Flanagan up the other end. Touch tight. The same as Barrett. The same as Barry Heffernan. And brilliant individual battles throughout the field.
Kelly with 1 point so far. That from a free. More problems for the Clare full back line, however. Problems. Ford trying to crash his way through here. Conor Cleary trying to mind the goal, and the referee in the end decides that the Tipperary man held on too long. It's got to be a free out. But certainly Jason Ford is one of the men that Tipperary are really looking to this afternoon. We haven't seen enough yet. In fact, we haven't seen anything at all yet of John O'Dwyer, Seamus Calnan as well. Need to get much more in it. We've seen a little bit of Jake Morris.
Yeah, and I think that'll encourage Tipperary. You know, 3 or 4 of their top forwards haven't really touched the ball yet. You know, John McGrath the same.
That's gone through the hands there of Ronan Maher. A chance for Colin Galvin to pick it up. Crashes forward here. All the way back it comes towards Aidan McCarthy once again. Was thinking of his next move. That wasn't quick enough. And it's picked up instead here by John McGrath. Blocked down well. Galvin got in the block. Line ball will be to Tipperary. Everybody giving everything they possibly got. You'd swear it was the Munster final itself already.
That's a great block, and you know, that sort of passion, that sort of work rate, that really feeds into the whole team, that energy. But I think Tipper are going to be thrilled to be back in this game. They've scored the last 1-2. You know, they look to be in real trouble, but they've weathered the storm now, and you know, as we said, a number of their players still not in the game.
Ronan Maher gets it in here. That's John O'Dwyer, one of the players we were talking about. Calnan, the other one there. Jake Morris might collect this one. Tries to go forward past John Conlon. Not easy to do. Conlon helped out. Morris goes back, gets it. 2 players against him. An awkward angle. What a shot. Brilliant point. Superbly done by Jake Morris, and the teams are level once again at 1-7 to 1-7. I tell you, this is some Munster semi-final.
Yeah, the work rate from everybody. Again, Jake Morris had lost that ball, won it back, flicked it over the bar, and you know, you can see what it means to him, because he wants to get his name on the scoreboard just to settle him in. So 1-7 apiece. What an opening to the game.
Let's go down to the sideline now to our match reporter. That's Damien Lawler. Damien.
Yes, Ger, a pulsating start to the game. Tipperary have a strong wind at their backs, and that's a factor, as well as a slippy enough pitch too. Very composed Brian Lohan throughout the first quarter of the game. Hold your shape is his message into the team as well. Tipperary were quite concerned with the poor start, but they made no serious changes on the bench. They're encouraging their attack to rotate all the time, but they have dropped Jake Morris deep, and they want Seamus Callan to stay inside at all times. So very, very evenly poised. 18 minutes gone, Ger.
Certainly is that. Thank you, Damien. What do you make of it, Michael?
Yeah, look, a brilliant start. I think, as we said about Clare, they really learned from last week. That's what's really impressed me. They were brilliant against Waterford in the first quarter, but some of the wides they hit were terrible. But they've worked the ball much better this week. But you have to credit Tipperary too. They've settled into the game over the last 5 minutes. You know, we talked about the likes of Bubbles, the likes of John McGrath, but we have seen them on the ball. Dan McCormick, you know, has scored a couple of great points. So they're really, I think had to get up to the pace of the game. Clare have been up to the pace from last week's match, and you know, you'd imagine the Tip are going to be the happier of the two teams after that, because they look to be in trouble after 7 or 8 minutes, but as I said, they've come back into it really well.
Brian Lohan there, patrolling the sideline, a man who won 3 Munster championships himself, looking to get back into a final against Limerick, and there hasn't been a Munster final between Clare and Limerick since 1995. Tip of other ideas. Eibhear Quilligan, the Clare goalkeeper, ready for the restart. Level at 1-7-2-1-7. Well, that was Jake Morris going back there, reading the flight of that cleverly. Jason Ford, race for possession. John McGrath's over there looking for it, putting a lot of pressure on Paul Flanagan, helped out there by John Conlon. Then more players arriving on the scene, and that is Diarmuid Ryan to clear it long downfield. And it's taken up very neatly by Ryan Taylor. Taylor goes out, makes an angle for himself, gets away from 2 Clare players and drives it straight over the crossbar. Really good play by Ryan Taylor. That's his 2nd point of the match so far. Yeah,
brilliant play. If you watched him off the ball, he read that break. He knew it was going to come in over the top. He got in front of Ronan Maher, and again that dash and pace to move away from him. Looking at Mikey Breen as wing forward, Dan McCormick in the middle of the field, Jake Morris out wing forward as well. So look, Tipperary forwards moving all over the place, but Clare staying with them, and here's Aidan McCarthy on the ball.
That was their first score for 8 minutes, by the way. Aidan McCarthy can't make any headway, hasn't really got into the game properly just yet, McCarthy, as we know that he can. Instead it is Tipperary back in the attack again, up towards Calden, between Calden and Cleary, and that'll be very nice from a full-back's point of view. Fell kindly for Conor Cleary. Back out it comes towards John Conlon, settling in once more to that centre half-back position. Look where Kelly went, back in front of his own half-back line to get possession. Out there towards Ian Galvin. Galvin racing for possession, losing his way there against Paddy Marr, and Paddy Marr with the help gets that ball forward. It's there towards John O'Dwyer. Dodge from the right, striking it, but striking it poorly after all of that, and that's a 2nd wide by a Tipperary player. Quick puck out, it's a long one down once again to David Reedy. Reedy drives it diagonally across over towards Ian Galvin. He can't get to it, it's Paddy Marr instead, and the crowd from Tipperary responding to Marr when they see him coming out like that from fullback, all the way up towards Seamus Calnan, pushed in the back. The referee has decided by Conor Cleary, and it's going to be a free in. John Conlon saying it was a dive taken by the full forward.
You know, he's tight, he's close to him. Sometimes they're not given, sometimes they are. You can just see he's leaning in, but again, you know, it's tough, tight marking. A lot of refs wouldn't give it. Paddy Marr, what a catch coming out. You know, it's in, as I said, cornerback settling in there now, and just these individual battles all over the field, intriguing so far.
Chance for Jason Ford to step up and put this one over. 4 points already for him. First one was from open play, then a sideline, then a free, and this one should be number 4, and this should level up the game once again, and it does, and they level for the 4th time. Liam Sheedy there having words with some of his backroom people. Plenty of talent back there as well.
Jared Tony Kelly at centre forward now, Carl Barkin out centre back, and that means Barry Heffernan now at full back on Aaron Shanahan. So obviously Tipperary doing a man marking job and on these players today.
And once again Tipperary surrender the Clare puck out, give them the chance to get it down. Seamus Kennedy has it here. Paddy Marr driving it out towards Michael Breen, the goal scorer. Cleverly got away there from Paddy Fitzpatrick, who's struggling a little bit to get into the game. John O'Dwyer is very firmly in the hunt at this stage for scores, and he's got his first one here. Missed one a little earlier on, but there he was perfectly positioned, got away from Paddy Fitzpatrick and drove it between the uprights to put Tipperary in front by 1-9 to 1-8.
Yeah, lovely little triangle of passes there. Michael Breen with the lovely ball into John O'Dwyer, and he had a wide a minute ago, didn't bother him, stuck that one over.
Conor Cleary picking out Rory Hayes. Switch corners. It's 2 against 1 down there. Let's see how this works out. And weight of numbers playing for Tipperary so far, but they still can't get the ball away. Finally it does come out towards Dan McCormack, hand passing it out as far as Barry Heffernan, looks across the field, plays it forward then to Paddy Maher. Maher, before the challenge from David Reedy, drives it down once again to Seamus Callan this time. Good possession by Callan, trying to play it into the stride here of the corner forward, Jake Morris. Morris making an angle. Good save by the goalkeeper. Eibhear Quilligan got down smartly. That wasn't easy. Very good save made by him. Out as far as John Conlon and away to safety after all of that. That was a good goal scoring opportunity. Well created by Tipperary, but not quite finished. Ian Galvin, who got the first of the goals in this match for Clare, as far as Shanaher, and that's just gone the wrong side of the post. A lot of action there, Michael.
That was a terrible wide by Aaron Shanahan. He got away from Barry Heffernan, but look at this for a save. Eibhear Quilligan getting down at that ball on a wet sod. Jake Morris did the right thing. Look, he just turned inside, and a low ball like that, almost impossible to save. What a brilliant save by Quilligan.
Tipperary coming again, driving forward here. Brendan Maher then dispossessed, but the referee has blown his whistle, and it ends up being a free against Brendan Maher and against Tipperary.
Yeah, the work rate of Ryan Taylor here, just incredible. He started well behind Brendan Maher, took off after him, dispossessed him, and Maher then fouled. And that, if this is scored, that's all about Ryan Taylor. 2 points on the board so far. He's really impressing me. Very mobile, very fit, and willing to work back as well as attack.
Well, he was Clare's goal scorer last year in the opening match of the championship. Has 2 points this afternoon, as you say, for Ryan Taylor. Now this man, Tony Kelly, one so far. This free is 85 metres from the target. It's on its way, travelling nicely, and inevitably a white flag.
Yeah, lovely strike. That's into the wind and way over the bar. Very clear, miles over, and the lads are able to strike that ball some distance.
Level once again. Paddy Fitzpatrick under this one, got one hands to it. Happy to see Rory Hayes there, perfectly positioned to take it from him. Then Paul Flanagan to drive out with it. Difficult one to take here. That was well taken by Ian Galvin. Ran into traffic then. Needs support. Kelly's available. Thought about the hand pass and eventually carries it out over play here. He had an option there to give it to Colin Galvin. Chose to play on and try to drive it down the field, but just ran out of space.
Yeah, Jerry hasn't been in the game in open play, and I'd say a little bit of frustration. They're trying to do something. He should have given the pass, and Michael Breen dispossessed him easily.
Noel McGrath ready to hit this one. Up into the corner. John McGrath slipped as he was on his way out. As I say, there was an immense amount of rain, as there has been through, I'm sure, much of the country earlier today. So underfooting not the greatest. Taking off here. And going through the centre, Cathal Malone involved, Kelly involved. Kelly shooting now from 65 metres out, hoping it'll go up and over, lands in the goalkeeper's hands. Well taken that time by Barry Hogan. His namesake Brian, goalkeeper last year, sitting in the stands among the subs. Jake Morris hitting this one, but hitting it poorly. And after a rush of great scores, we've now had 4 wides now by Tipperary.
Yeah, can't get over Tip giving up these puckouts time after time. They're not pushing up in their men and making it easy for Clare to work the ball out.
Galvin goes forward. Good to see him back following injury. Helped out here by Cathal Malone. Work to do for Aaron Shanahan to get there. He does. He gets there ahead of Barry Heffernan. Slings it over his shoulder now as he got it over the bar as well. Again, dropping into the goalkeeper's hands. Second time that's happened in the last 60 seconds. Back up the field again it comes. Jason Ford raiding, 2 men against him. John Conlon, one of them. He takes him on. He's still going forward and taken down in the end, and it'll be a free from 20 metres out. Great work by Jason Ford.
Yeah, no, I don't think this will be deemed a goal-scoring chance, but he is unceremoniously dumped to the ground. I'd say it's a yellow card. You know, you watch Ford, he's heading for the goals here. He's pulled and then he stopped again. Was it a clear goal-scoring chance? Probably not, because of the covered defender. So
yeah, there were plenty of players back, weren't there? So it's going to be a conventional 20-metre free. Jason Ford will be the taker. Jason, who's now 27 years of age, went to college, of course, here in Limerick, and enjoying himself this afternoon, and that one causing him no problems whatever.
Yeah, and just to mention Barry Hogan's part in that last play, you know, the goalkeeper, that's I think one of the reasons he's on the team. His striking is unbelievable, and he picked out Ford there with an 80-yard pass.
People will remember, or will have heard at least, of his part in the Tipperary County Final last year for Killadangan. His quick thinking led to a late score from which they won the title. Paddy Fitzpatrick all the way down. David Reedy tussling in there with Paddy Marr, comes back out again towards Aidan McCarthy. McCarthy hits it perfectly, beautifully done. Really good score, a first of the day for Aidan McCarthy.
Yeah, and great young talent, and he hasn't been in the game so far and had the confidence to whip that one over the bar. Just Tipperary, a little bit of hesitancy in their play. They had two men there, nobody really committed to the ball, and McCarthy picked it up and flicked it over.
Level 6 times, pressure back on the Clare backs again. Who got the last touch on that one? Well, I think the umpire has given it as a 65, but the way in which that ball came in can't have been easy for the umpire to adjudicate on that one, because it was flying past a number of bodies. Referee went in, had a little word. Is going to be a 65 for Tipperary, chance for them to take the lead again. About 7 minutes or thereabouts to go to half time. This was flying in here, you see what I mean? Very difficult to be absolutely certain he got the last touch.
Even with a replay, but the umpire is closest to it, so you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
So Jason Ford again. Interesting that he retained the free-taking duties and not Seamus Callan. I was wondering before this game whether Callan would have taken over once again, but the selectors obviously decided it's going very well for Jason Ford. Why upset something that is going well? And this time, it's gone the wrong side of the post. Stays at 110 to 110.
Maybe it's just a stun, we don't know.
Liam Sheedy certainly had the team well and truly up for this one. They were 3 weeks without a game since their last league match, a loss to Waterford. Only 7 days since Clare last played. Cathal Malone starred in that. He's out there starring again, but driving it the wrong side of the upright. But it's just their second wide after an absolutely perfect opening 15 to 20 minutes.
But a brilliantly worked puck out again. I don't know what Tipper are doing. Conor Cleary with a great pass there to David Reedy. The only problem was Cathal Malone wouldn't be maybe the finishing man to take the last shot if they were to pick someone, but a lovely play by Clare again.
Hogan's puck out. Two Clare players going for the one ball. Almost got it messed between them. Conlon's digging in there, however. Jake Morris picking it up, slipping it back inside here to Noel McGrath, keeping it going nicely. An opportunity. What a point! What an absolutely brilliant score there. Once again, it's Jason Ford. One from play already, and now he's got a second from play, and 6 in all, and it's 111 to 110.
Yeah, Noel McGrath's pass to him, brilliant, but the piece of work by Jake Morris before that, where he sold a little shimmy and gave the hand pass to McGrath, lovely score, and we're seeing some great skill here today from all the players.
Well, it's a match which, like yesterday in Croke Park between Kilkenny and Wexford, is lighting up this championship. Noel McGrath back there, and passing it securely to his goalkeeper, Barry Hogan. Back out here to Paddy Maher towards John McGrath, but getting there ahead of him is the quarterback Paul Flanagan. Tipperary able to try and get it back here, but under pressure Flanagan comes, takes again, looks a very commanding figure, the number 4 for Clare. Down there towards Aidan McCarthy, trying to slide into that one there, helped out by David Reedy. Barry Heffernan's there for Tipperary. The Clare man has won it, however, surrounded by Tipperary players. Back with Diarmuid Ryan once again. Goes back to make a bit of space for himself. Doesn't take it into his hands. Lashes it downfield. It might break kindly here. An opportunity to win possession. Aidan McCarthy once again. He was involved in the earlier stage of this move. Now striking for home. It's going to drop well short. And a chance for Barry Hogan in the 32nd minute to give it out there as far as Michael Breen and drive it back into the forwards once again. Popping around there, but there's an extra back there for Clare. Robbed. Seamus Callan got the first of his 36 championship goals here in 2006. And he set up a point opportunity here, and nicely taken by John O'Dwyer. And Bubbles has got his second point of the match.
Ger, look at his flick. Look at the flick there from Seamus Callan falling. The work rate, what this man has achieved in the game, to be working like that but still have the presence of mind to flick that ball out. A fantastic assist.
Two between them. Clare looked to respond immediately. Aaron Shanaher over there. Helped by Kelly in the corner. Awkward angle. Oh, virtually impossible. How did he do that? Oh, that is just amazing. He's a magician, this guy.
And we're seeing it all. Look at this little flick by Shanahan, but on the sideline, nearly in on the 14-metre line. You know, if he sent it wide, just saying it's mad, but what a score.
One between them. Paulie Fitzpatrick tries to get to it. It's Michael Breen again. He's got one goal already. Missed his first touch. Calnan steps away from trouble and saved by Quilligan. It's got out for a 65. That's superb work by the goalkeeper. What a miss by Calnan. Tipperary should have buried that one there and got their second goal.
What a run by Breen. But from there, what a save. And look, he's looking. Calnan holding his head, put it in the corner. He had to score. Lovely shimmy straight at him, but it's still a brilliant save. And that's two mighty saves. And Michael Breen causing havoc for the moving off. Here we go again, off the ground but straight at him, and it bounced up and flicked away. Great save nonetheless, but he should have stuck it in the corner, as you said, Joe.
Showing why he was an all-star nominee last year. Brilliant work by Aber Quilligan. Another 65. Jason Ford stepping up, once again looking to put two between the teams with half-time approaching. And it's gone over. There were a couple of voices that you could hear saying wide ball, but I think that was from the opposition. 7 points now for Jason Ford. Liam Sheedy having a quiet little word there just before we approach the break. It's been a really, really exciting opening half. Full credit to both sets of players. Brendan Maher down injured at the moment. Superbly talented player, of course. And had first played for Tip in the Championship back in 2009, long time ago. Now 32 years of age.
Yeah, Gerald, just talking about Carl Barrett, he's doing a great job, and Tony Kelly so far. That score was from the line, but and Sean Finn, they're rated the two best cornerbacks. But I have to say, I've been so impressed by the Clare cornerbacks, Rory Hayes and Paul Flanagan, against Waterford and again today. Now Hayes has been pulled around a bit by Jake Morris, but Paul Flanagan's man marking is unbelievable.
I completely agree, but he's 28 years of age now, and you're wondering, where has he been? This is only his sixth championship
Sean
match.
Tracy and Brian Lohan involved with Clare. You can see it written all over some of their defending.
Absolutely. Oof, strong stuff down there. And it's Noel McGrath who emerges with it and steps out over this near sideline. Line ball to Clare. They're coming looking for the next score to squeeze the lead a little bit. 1 minute of additional time about to be played. Colm Galvin ready to stand over this one. Hammers it in here towards his brother. Ian goes to ground, gets up quickly, gives it off to Cathal Malone. Well blocked down. That was Jake Morris getting back to do that. He did really well. Heffernan out. Dan McCormack now inside his own 65. All the way up towards John McGrath in the corner there with the man we were talking about, Paul Flanagan. McGrath trying to get the better of him. Flanagan sticking to his task, and he's a difficult enough one. Support players are there. Paulie Fitzpatrick trying to help it out towards Rory Hayes. They want to get that ball away quickly. Good composure out to John Conlon. Final few seconds of this first half, which has been absolutely engrossing. Nicely down, stepping away from trouble is Aaron Shanaher. Cathal Barrett comes out, there's a chance, what a goal! Right at the very end, it's Kelly, he's got another one. Tony Kelly with a goal and 3 points. We said he was having a quiet time. Wow, what a time to get a goal, bang on half-time.
What a brilliant flick, but look at the instinct of the finish. Aaron Shanahan should have put it over the bar. That's a brilliant flick in there. Look at the finish, never even looked, stuck it in the net right in the first half. What a brilliant first half.
It has been absolutely sensational at the LIT Gaelic grounds. Full credit to both teams. A standing ovation from the fans. 3,000 in here enjoying it. Hope you are as well. There'll be lots to talk about at half-time. Here at the break, it's Tipperary 113, Clare 211. We'll be back. And it's a question of who has he replaced. He's gone into the inside forward line alongside Seamus Callan. See John O'Dwyer there as well. Jake Morris is out.
I think it's John McGrath, I think, Ger.
So that's the change. Start of the second half, point between them. such a good first half. Let's see, can this continue in similar fashion? Tony Kelly over there, he was being held. That's his view of it anyway. Referee going across to have a word with him. And a yellow card has been flashed to Cathal Barrett. Cathal Barrett, who had the misfortune to slip as he was coming out to defend against Kelly right at the very end of the first half, which enabled Kelly to get in and snatch that brilliantly taken goal.
Yeah, he's saying it's for persistent fouling. You could see that. We had a very similar one in the first half where Cathal Barrett got the benefit of the doubt. This time Tony Kelly, you know, very hard to see that. It looked like Barrett's hand was in holding his hurl, stopping him from playing it. But I don't know, was he involved in that many fouls before that?
And that's Kelly's shot and Kelly's point as well. So he's now got a goal and 4 points. In that first half, incidentally, of Clare's tally of 2-11, 2-9 came from play. Short puck out this time taken by Tipperary. Barry Heffernan, the one who has possession, drives it away downfield. Collected here well, however, by Rory Hayes. Left it behind, needs support there. Cathal Malone's the one who's coming to help him. Noel McGrath in to tackle initially. Then Dan McCormack looking to lay the ball off. Has a support player outside here. It's Jake Morris. Morris about to be hooked and dispossessed brilliantly. That's Aidan McCarthy who's back there. Has a support player. Flanagan getting the ball out and in a little bit of difficulty there. It's Morris again, and then the legs taken from under him by Aidan McCarthy, and the referee will reach for his notebook again, and I think there will be another name perhaps going into the referee's book. Well, he's having a word with him anyway. I think he would probably argue it's his first offence in the game, but it looks like it's going to be a card. Referee James Owens from Wexford, of course. Aidan McCarthy, a point scorer.
I'm not sure as to debate here. Is he going to give him a black card, the new yellow? He said it was clear. A goal scoring chance. This is
a goal scoring chance out there.
35 yards from the goals on the side. Like it's on the 21, but on the angle it must be 30 yards from the goals.
It's a penalty. Is that not a case of, you know, there were certain players, quite a number of players, who were between the offence and the goal, surely?
Well, I was concentrating on the play. I was going to comment on the work rate of the two lads. This is a big call by James Owens, and we'll have another look at it now in a second. Jason Ford stepping up, and Jason Ford scoring. Goal and 7 points now from the penalty there for Jason Ford, and it's suddenly 2-13 to 2-12, point between them. If you look at it here, he slides in here. Now, it's definitely a foul. It's a yellow card, but we can't see. I can't see from that angle. That's a brilliant penalty by Ford, but we can't see where the who's covering Jerry. We can't see from that angle. I was concentrating on the play, but James Owen, the judge, there was no cover back. You could see him pointing into the space. Well, James, the lads tonight will have a better chance to look at it. They sure will. So it suddenly changes around again, and Tipperary in front by a point. Jake Morris now. Flanagan comes out, stumbles with this one, however, fumbles it as well. Tries to get it back, helped out by Dermot Ryan. Always very assured, leaves it off here. Taken forward here by Ian Galvin. Clare's goal scorer in the first half, went off a Tipperary stick, went off Brendan Maher. And you can see how pumped up Liam Sheedy is. This is the move again here. Now, was that a clear goal-scoring opportunity prevented? No, it's definitely not. Look, we saw from the first picture there was at least 4 or 5 players back in the picture in front of the goal. Somebody would have closed them down straight away. So I don't know how he could have judged that to be a goal-scoring chance. Tony Kelly ready to take this sideline cut. Catches it nicely, straight into the goalkeeper's hands, however. Barry Hogan, one of those playing in his first championship match this afternoon for Tipperary. Taken down the field here as far as Noel McGrath. Into the corner. Callan's there, and Callan scores and pumps the air with his left hand. It's his first point in this year's championship. Another one for Tipperary. They lead by 2-14 to 2-12. Sure, that first touch is unbelievable on a wet day by Callan. He hadn't scored, but he's been working really hard. But you can see what it means. You know, when you're a forward, you want to be getting your name to score sheet. But that first touch, one hand flick up at his hand, brilliant. Paul Flanagan seeking out and finding David Reedy.
Reedy strikes, and again it is short. Left into the goalkeeper's hands. Barry Hogan then able to start the next attack in the company there of Seamus Calnan, or Seamus Kennedy, I should say. Little slip over there by Paudie Fitzpatrick. Ready to go in and try and challenge again as Michael Breen has difficulty getting that ball under control.
Yeah, and Ger, just a comment here. Clare have moved all their forwards out the field in the second half. You saw the last ball Ian Galvin got. He looked up, he'd no one to play it into. Shanahan is the only one inside their half of the field at the minute. It worked in the first half with 2 or 3 men forward. Why are they doing this playing with the wind? It seems to be a change of tactics, and it's certainly not working for them so far in the second half.
They're 2 points down. They're 2 points down. Yes, 2-14 to 2-12. Line ball to be hit in by Jason Ford, man who converted that penalty a few minutes ago. This one has gone the wrong side of the upright, however. So 6 minutes into the second half. A few problems to address for Brian Lohan. Paul Flanagan. And hitting it forward, and as Michael Dagnan was saying, there's absolutely nobody there whatsoever in a Clare shirt. Easy one for Paudie Maher to get out. Jake Morris overhits that one, or else Jason Ford misjudged it. Comes out in any case towards Ryan Taylor. Down he goes. Fouled by Brendan Maher.
Yeah, Jeremy, that was a heavy hit, and the escape a yellow card for that he did. But the one thing that struck me, with a number of mistakes creeping in here in the second half, but you see there Jake Morris, a little hand pass over the top there is all he needed to do. He buried the ball at Jason Ford, gave him no chance to control it. Paudie Maher, we've seen before, when you leave him loose in that role, sitting back there, you know, he is going to cause serious damage, and he can come up from there and put the ball over the bar as well. So I think, you know, if I was over Clare, I'd be saying, lads, get Tony Kelly or Ian Galvin back inside in the full forward line to support Aaron Shanahan. Maybe just play 2 in there, but don't leave it just 1 in there.
It means Tony Kelly has got this free from the middle of the park, ready to make it a 1-point game once again. So score of a goal and 4, looking for his second point of the second half, and clinical as ever. So Clare stay nicely in touch. Brian Lohan overseeing their match preparations for this, and he's done a really good job. Big occasion for him this season. Things didn't go quite as planned last year. Ronan Maher now for Tipperary, driving this one in. The umpires go back, view it well, and see that it sails over the crossbar. And a first of the afternoon for Ronan Maher from Thurles Sars.
Yeah, and I said it in the first half about the tip forwards not pushing up into puckouts, but if you give those Tipperary players that sort of room, they have such a skill level, they'll score from distance.
Rory Hayes switched flanks, as you can see, with Paul Flanagan. Barry Heffernan coming across here to take this, managing to get it out here as far as Brendan Maher, unchallenged. David Reedy not close enough to him, and this time the delivery is poor. It goes beyond John O'Dwyer, and a line ball to Clare. Tip can't afford to get sloppy. Ahead by 2, but it's a very tight match, this one. Aidan McCarthy is preparing to come back in. His 10 minutes, he hopes, will be up pretty soon. He's busy preparing up and down the sideline. Dermot Ryan ready to hit this. Gets a very good connection. Down there towards Shanahan. Kept in play. Tony Kelly trying to take it in his stride. Cathal Barrett was there, but so too was Dan McCormack. McCormack helping out as far as Noel McGrath. Down there towards Seamus Calnan. Calnan taking his fullback. Conor Cleary out with him, making a better angle for himself, forcing the shot in, and he scored! A goal by Seamus Calnan. Goalkeeper must have seen it late, but after 45 minutes, it's another Tipperary goal, and Eibhear Quilligan is beaten at his near post.
Yeah, you watch Callan coming in here. He actually mishit the ball, and he just crept inside the post. He went to tap it over the bar. Good defender by Clancy, put him under pressure, mishit it into the net. He was definitely going for a point there, and he just mishit the ball. Look at the top spin on it, and really Eibhear Quilligan should have saved it. He just missed it. Awkward on that left hand side.
Well, the first of his goals was here against Clare in 2008, and the last one up to now was last year. That's one back at least. It's by Ian Galvin. A goal and 3 for Ian Galvin now, but that was something of a calamity for Clare. They're only 4 points behind, however. Tip build in measured fashion out from the back. Cathal Barrett again, diagonally across over there. Taken up by Michael Breen. Got the first of the Tipperary goals, swinging this one in, but it's a poor final shot by Breen. Stays at 3:15 to 2:14. Paddy Fitzpatrick is the recipient of the puck out. Nobody on him. He's able to go take it forward 30 metres if he wants to. Drives it eventually. Didn't look terribly confident in his approach, however. Surely, be to goodness, he had other options.
Yeah, look, we had a brilliant first half, but the second half, the life has been sucked out of it by those sort of wides. We saw Michael Breen before that, but Tip happy to back off there and let him take the shot, knowing that maybe his accuracy wasn't up to scratch.
3 wides by Clare. Forward, back in again. There's plenty of cover there for Clare if they can get this ball away, but they're in difficulty because Bubbles has it. John O'Dwyer up and over the bar. First point of the second half for him, third in all, and it's going very nicely for Tipperary at this stage.
What an impact at Callan. Look at the pass by Callan again, Ger. This is unbelievable. That's twice he's done that. That's an unbelievable piece of skill to improvise like that. Look at the flick off the ball, just bouncing there. They flicked it back to Bubbles. That's vision, that's skill, that's brilliant.
It's superb. Barry Heffernan racing back towards his own end line. Challenge there by Tony Kelly. Kelly's got it. He's again going for the extraordinary shot, but this time it doesn't quite come off for him, unlike the one in the first half. It's a 5-point game, and we are some 11 and a half minutes into the second half. Tipperary making another change, it would appear.
Yeah, and Aaron Shanahan out here wing forward now. You have David Reedy centre forward and Tony Kelly and Ian Galvin inside.
This breaks nicely. It's Jake Morris. Nobody on him. Support play here. Gives it off to John O'Dwyer when he might have shot himself. O'Dwyer now faced with a bit of difficulty trying to get a shot on target or to link up with somebody else. Morris again. Better angle this time. So assured. Really gifted young player. Point in each half for him.
And this is where Tipper are making, the most progress. That breaking ball from their half forward line. Here's Aidan McCarthy back on, but Jake Morris playing out there around the half forward and breaking on. You saw Michael Breen in the first half twice breaking through the centre, and when Clare have no cover, really they should have done better. There was a goal on there.
Noel McGrath taken off, and the player coming on is going to be Alan Flynn.
And this is a feature of Tip, a lot of good young players on that bench. Jerry, we talked about it before the game itself. There's have a lot of under-21 All-Ireland, under-20 winners ready to come on and bring pace to that team to finish the game. That's another fine catch back there by Barry Heffernan. They started the match with 13 of the 15 players that started the 2019 final. Noel McGrath endorsing the group he had on that occasion. This time they come again. It's Willie Connors is in there. Support from Seamus Calden. Tried to get it out, Clare. Eventually does come out as far as Rory Hayes, challenged by Calnan. Trying to shrug aside the attentions there of the player from Drummond Inch. 32 years of age now, Seamus Calden. Quite a handful for any full-back. Stat for that, you see the hand in clearly there, that's the foul. Rory Hayes swung back to hurl as well, but it was after that, and definitely a free out. But Callan's work rate, Jerry, he sets some example for everybody in the Tipperary panel, the way he works and tackles and parries, and has had a couple of those assists out of this world in the game so far. Very good third quarter of the match so far for Tipperary. That ball goes very, very long. Clare have only scored 3 points in this quarter. By comparison, Tipperary have scored 2 goals and 4 points. Yeah, Clare playing into the wind seemed to play a particular type of game. It was working really, really well for them, but they've abandoned that completely in the second half. They're going long and aimless with a lot of ball. Well, they need to reconsider their tactics very, very quickly. Paddy Fitzpatrick once again shrugging aside the attention of Breen initially, but now having to dig deep and work hard again. Supported. Flanagan. Moving forward again, it's Cathal Malone now. Colm Galvin, one of the heroes of 2013 when they won the All-Ireland, of course, and he was one of their stars, very much so. Hit away there by Ronan Maher as far as Jake Morris. Into the challenge there very, very quickly. Doing neatly was David Reedy to win that one. Malone picking it up. Poor delivery by Malone, however. The man who's just come on here is Alan Flynn.
giving it off to Breen. Handled there but care by O'Dwyer, looks at the target and fires it up and over. He's got another, he's got 4.
Yeah, and he's showing everywhere, you know, he's getting away from his man, showing for the ball. James Oates calling back, one declared out for the high tackle. You can see it there, Ryan Taylor. Like Alan Flint ducked in all right as well, you know, that you see that a lot with the head coming down, but Ryan Taylor could pull out of it. He gets the yellow. But Tipper getting time to get their heads up because they have an extra man at the back. Paddy Maher, Ronan Maher, you know, Jake Morris getting ball out the field and being able to turn and look up and pick out the man moving off the shoulder.
Conor Cleary hitting this one neatly out here as far as David Reedy. Reedy trying to get away from his man. Brendan Maher, down goes Reedy. Certainly felt he was struck there this time.
He was pulled back here and then just watch the flick there in as well. And Brendan Maher's going to get a yellow card.
All of a sudden the cards are coming out. Most decisive one, I guess, was against Aidan McCarthy, which resulted in a penalty from which Tipperary scored early stages in the second half.
It's great to have the crowd back. You can hear all the friendly advice to the ref. A lot of amateur whistlers and some of the language fairly choice coming up here in the headphones.
Here's Kelly. Oh, it's very much the wrong side of the post this time. And another one has got away from Tony Kelly.
Yeah, big 20 minutes coming up now for Clare. Jerry, you know, like Tipperary have that ability to keep going and punch and finish it with goals, but Clare really need to stand up now, I feel, and you know, and fight their way back into this game.
Dermot Ryan did well that time. Knocked it down to Malone. Lays it off to Flanagan. That one going beyond Aidan McCarthy. Picked up instead by Ronan Maher. Diagonally over there towards Seamus Coleman. Racing back for it is Paddy Fitzpatrick, the big tall man from 6 Mile Bridge. Line ball will be to Clare.
And it is some battle back there between Conor Cleary and Callan. Cleary not giving him an inch. Callan's only a point scored, but he feels like he's contributed, or he's a goal as well, obviously, yeah. They miss it, but he's contributed so much more. But it's a really, really brilliant battle between the two of them back there.
David McInerney about to come in. They're going to need the likes of David McInerney to come in and invest some energy in this team, because Brendan Maher now is firing it in, but firing it once again to the right, and it's now 8 wides by Tipperary. On goes David McInerney, going off is Paddy Fitzpatrick, who is an inexperienced player at this level.
An example though, Gerard, you know, not to give up if you want to play for your county, like making your debut in your 30s, very unusual, but fair play to him for sticking with it.
Conor Cleary from a short puck out again before we hit the water break. Ball is still in play, I thought. The legs were out definitely, but anyway, Cathal McAllister has decided it is a live ball. It'll be the Tipperary, and it'll be Ronan Maher playing in his 30th ever championship match, about to hit this one. Very shortly, I imagine, James Owens will be signalling the second of the water breaks. Ronan Maher all the way across the field. Michael Breen's going to have a race to win this one. Managed to knock it back. Brendan Maher firing it forward towards John O'Dwyer, outnumbered that time, but Tip have it again, and the ball has gone off the stick of Dan McCormack out over the sideline. Line ball to Clare. They're in a hurry, want to get it back pretty quickly. As you can see, 7 points behind from a position where they were 1 up at half-time. Dermot Ryan about to strike this. Good length once again. Trying to get under control of that was Ryan Taylor, but it comes back out to Jake Morris, fires it deep into the corner. Rory Hayes goes across, picks it up. Change of direction, helped out by Paul Flanagan. Into the hands here of Aidan McCarthy. They needed score here, perhaps one before the water break. Colm Galvin, 65 metres out, hits it, but hits it poorly and without much conviction, and the referee calls for a break, the water break time, and it's 3:18 for Tipperary, it's 2:14 for Clare, so 7 points the margin. Let's go down to the sideline once again to our reporter Damien Lawler.
Thank you, Ger. As you can have guessed, momentum changed completely after that penalty, Ger. Clare totally confused by it. They've sought clarity, and the information is in the referee's interpretation there. Tipperary were denied a goal scoring opportunity. So huge confusion here on the sideline. At the same time, Clare are tempted to go long because there's such a strong wind in their back. That's a big, huge temptation for them. They're ignoring the sharp play they had in the first half. No great sign of activity on either bench now at the moment. Tipperary have a few players to call upon from Killedangan that they usually use, but Clare in huddles the whole time. Brian Lowell, Ken Ralph, James Morney selectors as well, but huge confusion on the sideline and nothing clarified as such.
Indeed, Damien. Okay, there's 2 points, I guess, really, that we've been mulling over, Michael, in the second quarter. One, the decision to award that penalty, and B, Clare's tactics.
Yeah, look, the penalty again, the more we see of it, like it's out here on the sideline. Jake Morris just flicks the ball up the wing, and if he's true and there's nobody else, but even if you look at Cathal Malone there, he's going to close him down straight away. So that's definitely, to me, it's a yellow card, it's a free, but it's not a sin bin, it's not a penalty. And that's had a huge turning point in a very scrappy opening quarter, and Clare have changed their tactics, allowing, as I said, Tip to work the ball out. And look, the hurlers they have in their backline, Barry Heffernan, Ronan Maher, Brendan Maher, all these lads are well able to hurl, and you give them loose ball, they're going to cause havoc. So and you have to commend the likes of John O'Dwyer, who's having a stormer up front.
Clare just need a focal point up front. There's still time, 7 between them. Clare have not scored since the 45th minute, just nearly 10 minutes ago. But instead, coming through here is Ford, Jason Ford. Great stop again by Eibhear Quilligan. Wonderful save once more. Comes out to Michael Breen to try and finish it off, comes off the post, comes back down as far as Conor Cleary, and eventually Clare managed to get that ball away. In fact, it was Diarmuid Ryan who cleared it away eventually, all the way downfield. Well, what a save again by Eibhear Quilligan. And in the follow-up, Tipperary again went unrewarded. But they've got the bit between their teeth at this stage. Here's Dan McCormack. McCormack firing it down towards the 13-metre line. Willie Connors is in there, looking to try and get possession, get it up onto his stick, succeeding in doing so, firing it in over his left shoulder, and more importantly, firing it over the bar as well. A first for Willie Connors since coming on as sub.
Yeah, Ger, what a passage of play. Eibhear Quilligan again, what a brilliant save, but Jason Ford allowed to rampage down the middle. That's an incredible save again, down low on his left. We were critical of the one maybe for the goal, but he's made a couple of brilliant saves. But the build-up play, John O'Dwyer flicked a little ball to Ford through the middle. Great vision again.
That's a great catch at the other end. It's Aaron Shanaher. It's going to be a free in. Chance to get one back at least. Now they'll be questioning whether or not that catch there and the foul that resulted from it, as it happened in the D there, was that something similar?
Well, the argument is if he broke through there, he was through on goal, you know, and if you're going to judge one out to the sideline to be a sin bin, a penalty. But again, there was cover there, you know, I wouldn't think it was a clear goal scoring chance. I think it's the right decision.
Kelly puts that one over, so he's now got a goal and 6 points. It's a very grey area, that is for sure.
Yeah, and it was brought in to stop that, you know, cynical foul and someone heading in on the goals, but I think it wasn't intended to be for tackles out on the sideline.
Of course not. Barry Hogan pucking this one out, down towards John O'Dwyer, meeting it there as well as Rory Hayes. Coming in to challenge David McInerney, picked up by Colm Galvin. Across the field of play, Barrett's going to win this, or should win it, and Kelly's there as well, so you never know. And then Barrett reached out and caught Kelly, and down went Barrett after that.
Yeah, Barrett's on the yellow card.
Umpire
Tony Kelly swung back the hurl.
there.
This is what the Tip lads are saying.
We're going to look at it again in a moment, but the referee has a call to make here. Barrett on yellow from much earlier on in the game.
Yeah, it's a big call over Tip because he's one foul away from being on the line. You know, I'm not sure the first yellow was warranted. I don't think he'd been fouling that much, but I think, you know, he has got the yellow, and
he's done as well as most people can do against Tony Kelly. That's
which just shows you how Kelly gets into your head. He was out in front there. Barrett would normally be gone with that, but he's so conscious that Kelly is there.
Kelly's here again. Mr. Campbell, not this one. So he's got a goal and 7 now. Last 4 were from frees. There's the foul again here That was Barrett fouling Kelly, then Kelly and Barrett ending up on the ground after that. Both sets of managers have their viewpoint, and Cathal McAllister is playing the role of the United Nations in between. Good exchange of views. Jake Morris hitting, scoring. 3 for Morris, 2 in the second half. But who is marking him, you wonder?
Well, you see, he's out the field, he's picked 15, but he's not playing there. Willie Connor's in the corner working hard, but Morris is motoring really well, and he's the one young player, I suppose, that has really made his mark on this Tipperary team, and great to see him playing such a central role today.
Mark Rogers is one of those coming on, and David Fitzgerald is going to come on as well. So a couple of changes by Clare. Let's see if they will have the desired effect. Ian Galvin's player coming off, or at least one of those coming off.
Yeah, I think Galvin and Ryan Taylor, 1-5 between them, had brilliant first halves, but the second half, you know, I think it's down to more how Clare have lined out that those forwards have maybe gone out of the game.
There's 11 minutes left in this Munster semi-final. Limerick are there waiting. John Kiley, as we saw at half-time, is here with some of his selectors in the stand, viewing the opponents. At the moment, it's looking like Tipperary. Do Clare have an answer? It's Cathal Barrett, ready to drive it away down the field again, into open space. Seamus Callan comes racing with his marker. Cleary, not tight enough. Back it comes, handled by Alan Flynn, and Flynn hits it up and hits it over. Both subs by Tipperary have now scored. Willie Connors and Alan Flynn.
But that's a great score. That's what I was talking about. Leaving those Tipperary backs, Cathal Barrett, all these guys on the ball with that space. But Callan's run, and then just the right option, out with the pass straight away to Alan Flynn, and left him with an easy score. That's great hurling by Tip.
Tip have looked really well in the second half, but they're coming under pressure from Kelly now. Forced out wide, awkward angle, virtually impossible angle, and he's put it wide anyway. Clare players are still protesting that it might well have been inside the right-hand upright, but I don't think they're going to get any joy out of that. So still an 8-point game.
Yeah, great work by Seamus Kennedy there. He showed his athleticism, got across, forced him wide, and forced the error.
Cathal Malone misses this one. John Conlon gets it, however. Ready to get Clare going again, and he's gone for the shot himself, and he's put it over the bar. Like old times, John Conlon scores in the championship. It's a 7-point game. Nobody was on Conlon. He had the confidence, he had the composure, had the ability.
Yeah, badly needed score. He hasn't been as prominent as he was against Waterford. I think Tip's movement causing all sorts of trouble, and we've seen them maybe breaking down the middle 3 or 4 times, and his inexperience as centre-back maybe showing a little there today.
David Fitzgerald trying to roll it up onto a stick. It's Michael Breen, however, instead, and that trickles out over the far sideline. Clare in a hurry, want to take the line ball quickly. The referee, however, wants the ball back into the correct position. All very frustrating from a banner point of view. Some umbrellas in evidence on the far side. Mist coming down again, maybe a little bit more than mist. David McInerney is going to take this one, the man from Tulla. Rory Hayes making himself available for a short one. He goes long instead, a very good connection, but it breaks down, and Tipperary have it back with Dan McCormack. Taking it forward there was Alan Flynn. Back to McCormack again. Gets great purchase on it, all the way down towards Calden. On his hands and knees is Cleary, the Clare full-back. They try to work it out. Tipperary tried to cause some consternation in and around the D there. Lots of bodies. Nobody able to get it out just yet. It's Malone, Cathal Malone, who plays football with Ennis Stuyven, hurling with 6 Mile Bridge, trying to get it out under ferocious pressure. Kelly helps him, drives it down towards the opposing 13-metre line. Nobody on Barry Heffernan. 63 minutes into the match. Swung across by Ronan Maher to the totally unmarked Alan Flynn. And Flynn hits and scores. 2 for him. Not a bad contribution by a substitute in the second half.
And that's repeat during the whole second half. Leave the Tipperary defenders on their own, let them work it out. They're brilliant at that 30-40 yard pass to hand. All the lads are drifting out the field, picking them up. We've seen bubbles between Jake Morris, we've seen Alan Flynn, and Clare just not marking up and getting beaten by the runner all the time.
And they lose their own puck out this time, but win it back. And it's David McInerney who has an awful lot to offer this team, you feel. Comes back towards Kelly, two of the men who starred in 2013. Kelly swung around, gave one back by Tipperary and Michael Breen. Cleary misses it completely. A chance to move forward here. And once again, it's Jason Ford coming forward, stepping into the inside forward line and getting another one for him. That's now a goal and 8 points.
Look at Brendan Maher's eyes there, wide open, looking at the ball. What a block down. But again, little mistake there by John Conlon. Ford just waiting. On a wet day like that, a ball can slide off the hurl, and that's what happened. This ball slides all the way into the inside forward line here, in as far as Rodgers. And that ball, well, they're claiming that it had touched a defender last, or had gone over. Mark Rodgers from Scariff, number 19. Back out it comes again, handled with difficulty by John Conlon. Not having the same presence, as you mentioned, in this game as he had in the match against Waterford 7 days ago. Tipperary going through the lines. It's O'Dwyer. John O'Dwyer looking to try and hand pass it back to the very free Jake Morris. Couldn't reach him. Has a go himself and misses. Heading in towards the last 5 minutes. Clare looking for a big finish. Cathal Malone striking. And that's one for him. Yeah, he's worked really hard since the start of the game. You know, got a lot of ball, carried it, and he's still working. Got away there from Alan Flynn, a lovely score. Looks too big a gap, however, with time ticking away. David McInerney trying to bat this one down Wimbledon style with the tennis racket, but didn't make the contact. Instead it comes across towards John O'Dwyer, steps away from Colin Galvin and whips it wrong side of the post. Well, it is 10 wides now by Tipperary. Bit of work to do if it's to be the Munster final in 2 weeks' time. David Fitzgerald driving it in here. Big finish required. Rodgers, they need a goal. Great stop. Chance to fire it in. Still the pressure is on there. Shanaher, it comes out off a couple of defenders and Tipperary get away with it. And in the end, it's Paddy Maher picking it up here and driving it out. Not terribly far, however. Clare collected again. Colin Galvin, back it comes as far as Rory Hayes. Goes through 1-2 people to challenge him, fires it in, hits it well, and Rory Hayes gets only his second ever point in championship hurling. Comes late. It's now, as you can see, a 7-point game. Yeah, look at this. The ball breaks in there to Mark Rodgers, turns inside, and Barry Hogan stays big, stays strong, makes a great save, and look at that. It goes out then to Shanahan. He follows up in another block by Tipperary, but good goalkeeper. Nice height for him, but still a very good save. And you know, Clare really needed that. I think at that stage, a goal gone in there would have narrowed the gap. Rory Hayes up the field, and great game he's had there, and he's very mobile, sallied up and stuck it over the bar. Dylan Quirk on, John O'Dwyer off in the last couple of moments. Michael Breen bringing that ball back into the possession of Seamus Kennedy. Picked up here now by Willie Connors. Back out as far as Alan Flynn. Substitutes who've played their part in what's looking like a Tipperary victory, unless Clare can come up with something really, really special. All the way up it goes towards David Reedy. Broken down, and that will suit Seamus Kennedy very nicely, trying to escape the clutches of Aaron Shanahan. Out as far as Dan McCormack. Paddy Maher held on to somehow, and the tigerish Cathal Barrett gets it away. Solos down a good 30, 40, 50 metres. He's still going. Barrett still right up to the 20-metre line. Bodies everywhere, and eventually it's picked up here, and John Conlon in measured fashion gets it out, but not so measured that he could link up with a Clare player. It's McCormack instead. Now who can finish this off? Jake Morris flicks it forward here. Dylan Quirk is just in the action, looking to try and score. A very tight angle confronting him, too tight, and another one has gone the wrong side of the uprights. Yeah, look, we had a brilliant first half. The second half has got very scrappy. Summed up maybe the likes of that, you know. Wide sucked the life out of games, I've said it before, but huge effort from both teams. Hard day for hurling, very slippery out there. Mark Rodgers trying to set up Tony Kelly again. Very good defensive work back there.
some superb defending, and there it was Paddy Maher who did a little flick to get that ball away before Kelly could get to it. Could have been a dangerous moment. At the other end, it's Seamus Calnan. He's got a goal and a point already in the game, and he'll have to be content with that for the moment. Work to be done. 13 wides by Tipperary. In the first half they had 5. Clare had only 2 in that first half. It was an absolutely thrilling opening 35 minutes of hurling. Since the water break, Clare with 5 points, Tipperary with 5 points, but the damage was done from Clare's point of view by Tipperary in the third quarter. Free upcoming.
Yeah, throw ball there, and I see Brian Lohan there urging Tony Kelly put it over the bar. He's not giving up, you know. Things can change. There'll be 3 or 4 minutes, a goal goes in. I have to say, Mark Rogers, since he's come on, has caused plenty of problems for Tipperary. He looks very, very dangerous. I haven't seen it before.
Kelly is firing it, and it's gone up and over. Goal and 8, I make it now, by Tony Kelly. All of his second half scores have been from frees, so you can see it's a 6-point game still. We're in the 70th minute. Barry Hogan pocking it out down towards the corner forward Jake Morris, collected instead here by Cathal Malone, picked up by Aidan McCarthy. McCarthy lobbing it in there, and there's a bit of manhandling in there. What's that? If there was a penalty earlier on, the Clare player going down is Aaron Shanaher. Comes out to Dylan Quirk.
I thought he was fouled there, Jared.
They look to be. Might see it again in a minute, but it's immaterial because play goes on. John Conlon driving forward before he is tripped, goes down under the pressure there from Paddy Maher. This is it again. Ball in there towards Shanaher.
Like Barry Heffernan, no eyes on the ball, just arms wrapped around him. Definitely a penalty to me.
Yep. Wasn't given the earlier one, which will be debated, I'm sure, plenty of times as to whether or not it was a clear goal-scoring opportunity denied. A point anyway for Clare.
It's just Barry Heffernan wasn't looking at the ball, Jared. That's what, you know, you have to give the benefit of the doubt. Shannon trying to win the ball, Barry Heffernan looking the wrong way, wrapped his arms around him. To me, a clear-cut penalty.
Just 2 minutes of additional time to be played. So it's looking like we're going to have a Tipperary versus Limerick Munster final in 2 weeks' time. Paul Flanagan, Dermot Ryan, about to be challenged, dispossessed as well. Alan Flynn in the thick of the action. Breen fumbling, support arriving from Ronan Maher. Hand pass back to the waiting Alan Flynn. It's a very, very good squad that Liam Sheedy has got at his disposal. We mentioned the Stars of just 2 years ago when they won the All-Ireland in 2019, and then bear in mind the wonderful under-20 and under-20 winning teams as well. They're looking to get into the squad, they're looking for places. There's a lot of talent there, as this one is hit by Cathal Malone late on, and he gets a point. A second by Malone.
And Jerry, you have to say the spirit of this Clare team, there's nothing wrong with that. Their work rate, and this man Cathal Malone has summed it up for me. He has covered every inch of Limerick here today, the LIT Gaelic grounds, and he puts a brilliant point there.
He's one of the unsung heroes, I think, Michael.
Absolutely.
We hear so much about some of the others, but this guy's work rate, as you say, is immense. But it looks like he's going to finish on the losing team here, but Clare will be back in the qualifiers. Dan McCormack looking to hit the last score of the game. It might be the last wide instead. The 2 minutes has been played. And there it is, confirmation that Tipperary will be in this year's Munster hurling final against Limerick. A job very well done in the second half. Full credit to both teams, to Brian Lohan and to Clare as well. Their performance in the first half in particular was exemplary. They led at the break, but in the second half, Liam Sheedy's team took control of the match. They were, we think, fortunate enough to be awarded a penalty early in that second half when there was a foul committed by Aidan McCarthy way out on the sideline, converted by Jason Ford, and the full-time score reads Tipperary 3 goals and 23 points, Clare 2 goals and 22.